Welcome to AK Anime Explainer. Today is explanation of Immortality Season 5, Episode 13 based on novel. Without any delay, start explanation. The door rule of the feather door, Fang Han has already been familiar with it. The disciples will contribute to the current sects and will be rewarded accordingly. The most important of these is to contribute to the martial art. The true disciple went out to travel, and occasionally got any adventures. The Taoism that was passed down from ancient times, and contributed to the martial art, can immediately get rich treasures. Even if you contribute a martial art secret method, the physical exercise method can also get a lot of remedies. Therefore, many powerful disciples, who entered Yuhuamen, are willing to contribute the secrets of their family in exchange for rewards. You can get medicinal herbs by contributing to the martial art secrets. Why, we have become a big fan of the profession, and are it difficult for the disciples to contribute to this contribution? You are all great elders, you are all the giants of the ages, and they are even thicker than my legs. When I saw the three elders in the cold, they seemed to be in a dilemma. They immediately said with a smile. Since the Huangquan Tu was exposed, the white wind feathers were not pursued, and Fang Han's mind was relaxed. He felt extraordinarily friendly to the entire feather gate and had a feeling of home. So he faced the three elders. He is also active and has no concerns about speaking. You kid, I thought that there is nothing. I want to know that all the laws that you contribute are all big magical powers, and there are still a few supernatural powers. There are so many contributions, let us know how to reward. You don't know the door rules. The elders had a beard and swayed, pinching their eyebrows, and the other side shook his head. Fang Han smiled and said, "Of course I know that if you contribute a small magical power, you can get one or a few pieces of spirit. If you contribute a great magical power, you can get one or several treasures. Contribute one, there is no supernatural power, and the reward is even more generous." For many elders to study, disciples can also make various requests. The secret of Shentong's practice is also high. Like Mu Ling Shu, it is called Xiao Shentong. It can nourish the body, absorb the aura of Wanmu, and condense the spirit. And Jianmu *** is a great supernatural power. The 8 supernatural powers of Yuhuamen are purple electric yin knives, Jianhan Xian Jing Jin, big self-reliant Xian Jin Jian Qi, etc. As for the supernatural powers, it is the vacuum yin and yang that teaches the supreme cultivation, and the instant killing *** that has been transformed by the big self-supplementary sacred sword, is also a supreme magical power. The 5 emperors of the great demon also belong to the supreme magical power. The devil's innate bones, the great disintegration, is also the supreme magic. There is no magical power. Every time you practice it, you have great power, but it is very difficult to practice. Every kind of law is also very precious. It is the essence of the heavens and the earth, the meaning of the immortality. Fang Han is also very much looking forward to this time. He has contributed so many magical powers. What rewards will the martial art give to himself? The elders of the Celestial Corps bounced the book contributed by Fang Han and shook his head. The big cutting technique, the exquisite Da Luo Qian, the black wind typhoon, the big day fire. It is the supernatural power of the supreme level, and the big cutting technique is over. It is from the demon. It won't cause any trouble, but if Ling Longfu knows that our feathering door has got the exquisite method of Da Luoqian's practice, I am afraid that I will come to the door. Tai will also come to the door to make a living. So Fang Han, it's also a problem to hand over these gods to the sect. The practice of each sect is prohibited from being passed on. If it is passed out, it must be recovered if you want to do it. If the purple electric slashing knife of the feathering door is passed out, the feathering door will send disciples and kill the learned people. It is also necessary to investigate the responsibility of the people who have been circulated. What is the secret of magic? It is the foundation of a martial art that is better to succumb to the corpse, to kill and destroy the family, and to refuse to reveal it. 2-1 door, exquisite and blessed to find better. We feathered the door and bargained with them anyway. It is a big deal to prohibit the disciples from practicing these magical powers, but we must also compensate the 2 sects. When we lions open their mouths and ask him thousands of pieces. What is the treasure? What is it that earned it? Several elders are much smarter than me. This is also an opportunity. Several elders know well, take this as an excuse, want to lower my reward, who will be the martial art in the future do things. Fang Han licked his fingers. Ha 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 ha, heaven, I have said that this kid is not so easy to deal with. Jiangong elder broke out a burst of laughter. Okay is good. The elders of the heavenly penguin waved their hands and showed a smile on their faces. You are a little slippery, it is a personal fine, and everything is hidden from you. According to the truth, your contribution this time, 29. If you don't say anything about the appearance of the Protoss, you can get at least 500 or 600 treasures, and even the Tao can be given to you. But in the martial art warehouse, there are so many treasures, and you can't get it. However, the group of immortals is near, and there are so many disciples in the sect. In order to help them practice, they can't help but reward. If you give it to you and reward other disciples, it will be inevitable that you will be stretched. You say, you are asking for conditions, no matter what. Anything you can do can promise you. When the elders of the day sentence said that the Protoss appeared, they could not help but lower their voices, seemingly afraid of others eavesdropping. The three elders present were giants, and the right arm of the teacher, the power of the grip, the mainstay, apparently already knew these serious things. Fang Han's notification of the great contribution of the Protoss is indeed much greater than the contribution of the 29 kinds of supernatural powers. It can be said that it is related to the survival of the entire fairy. Is it a condition? It seems that I have cultivated into the heavens and humans, and I can also put forward a condition. But this time, I will teach you to save me from danger. I will fight for the fate of the door. I don't have much to say. I have a request. I hope that the martial art can help me to make the 5 prisons, the magic knife and the blood. Fang Hanjin started the color and arched his hand. When I heard Fang Han's words, the 3 giants present at the scene looked at each other. It seemed that I knew that Fang Han had to ask for this request. Silence for a while, the elders of the sentence slowly opened, a treasure piece, to be a Taoist, it's not a small thing. The master of the longevity secret is not an easy thing to refine the Taoist device. Fortunately, your 2 pieces of magical weapons have very rich foundations. However, the functions of the 5 prisons are too complicated to be trained. I have to gather 8 million demons first, and then I will be able to finally change through the long-lived secret masters of hundreds of years. I think you can't wait for hundreds of years. He said it is good. It is not an easy thing to make the 5 prison kings become a Taoist device. On the body of Fang Han, he made a sound. For hundreds of years, I can't wait. What is the magic knife? Fang Han thought about it, it was also a fact. The quality of the magic knife is still above the 5 prisons, but it is a single function, known for its pure lethality. It is better to refine some, but it still costs me more than 100 years of hard work. The elders said, the words are another turn, but the teacher and the brother killed a palm of the demon god, but you can save 100 years of hard work. You take the sky out. Yes? Fang Han's hand was raised, and a flies out and was caught by the elders. It shows the body of the magic knife. The elders of the heavenly penalty are the masters of the longevity secrets. The giants of the ancient times are naturally not afraid of the blood and the palms of their hands. They have observed them for a while. There are also the magical remnants of the 7 leaves demon you have not completely refining. About 7 the body of Yi Morjuan is also here, take him out together, I will refine it for you. It is good. Fang Han remembered that the 7 leaves monarch was also suppressed at the bottom of the Huangquan River. Quickly communicate with you, beckoning hand, a magic shadow will rise up, silver robe, very young, is the 7 leaves of the devil. He has completely died, not to say anything else. In the Taiyuan Xianfu, he has been hungry for 18 years. Without any supplies, he has already starved to death. However, his practice was still in the process of being repaired, and it was turned into a pure spirit of the group, and did not dissipate. Now he is a corpse of the demon king who has cultivated to the 6-fold, return to the world, of Shentong, and the value is quite large. Move the soul to change. I will help you to make the 7 leaves of the devil into your avatar. The elders of the heavens Han pointed, and Fang Han felt that the mana on his body rushed out, and most of them were poured into the 7 leaves. On the body of the demon, then the corpse gradually opened his eyes, and Fang Han had a feeling of becoming his own body. However, he was surprised by the mana of the elders of heavenly punishment. It seems that the realm of the realm is too much. It is easy for the other party to kill themselves. Quickly call out the magical sword and the blood of the heavenly spirit. Let your body and instrumentation be one and the same. From then on, you will completely master this magic knife, which is equal to your second body. The elders hurried. King of Blood Knight? Fang Han saw this scene, a fierce violent drink, suddenly a ***** shadow in the blood of the knife. This blood shadow is like a bat, 1 person size, exudes a burst of fierce and vicious gas. This appearance, the hole in the hall, all of them were covered with a layer of blood fog, covering up the light, and it was the King of Blood Knight. The King of Blood Knight is the instrumental spirit of the magic knife. When the blood shadow flew out, Fang Han directed the Qi Emorduan to rush to the body, and the 2-2 fusion. Suddenly the blood of the king of the instrument rose sharply, the blood fog in the entire hall was more intense. The quality and strength of the magic knife blood is raised again. However, even if it is upgraded, it cannot be promoted to a Dao. However, the integration of 2 or 2, Fang Han suddenly felt that he is the King of Blood Knight, the King of Blood Knight is himself. But it is irrelevant to his own cultivation. The demon god's palm is taken out. The elders of the deeds again said. Fang Han quickly released the suppression of the demon ***** palm, also asked the elders to stay some blood. I will go back to give a few sisters refining the remedy. Of course. The elders of the sentence squirted a sword, and they cut the 5 fingers of the palm of the hand. Heavenly work, pass on the power. Help me. It is good. The elders of heavenly works, the Presbyterians screamed, and spewed 2 pure elements in their mouths. The group wrapped the King of Blood Knight, and Fang Han felt the avatar of his Blood Knight King. These 2 elders, though not the giants of the longevity and mystery, are all monks who are supernaturally, reversely changed their lives. The repair is still on the top of Huatian. This is the King of Blood Knight. Where is the reason for not being cultivated? I swallowed these 5 fingers. I will use the vacuum yin and yang road again. Come to change once. Enlightenment is not a way, just look at this one. The elders of the sinister burst into drink. The King of Blood Knight immediately opened his mouth and swallowed the demon god's finger. Every time you swallow one, the King of Blood Knight produces an incredible change. Blood Knight falls, covering the sky. When the King of Blood Knight swallowed the first finger, the body soared dozens of times, and stood tall and became a giant. The blood on the body is getting thicker and thicker, and the suffocating air is so thick that the blood fog in the air is very thick. Devouring to the second root, the shape of the King of Blood Knight is clear. A pair of ***** wings, like bats, have condensed into substance, no different from flesh and blood. After swallowing the third root, the King of Blood Knight has once again shrunk, and it has become a real person, but the body is highly concentrated, becoming a teenager with a large bat blood-winged, eyebrows and eyes, wearing a large blood robe. This boy, the face is just Fang Han. Fang Han had lived in the Taiyuan Shenfu for 18 years. Now he is in his 30s and is already a middle-aged man. However, because he cultivated to the heavens and humans, he took the Jui Jindan, but his face was not changed much, or he was under the age of 20. After swallowing the fourth root, the King of Blood Knight changed again, and the ***** smell gradually turned into a thin one, but the blood was more intense, and there seemed to be a feeling of turning evil into righteousness. In the end, the 5th finger is swallowed up. The temperament of the King of Blood Knight is more ancient, the body is elegant, the blood around the body is like the crystal of the treasure, the roundness, the blood of the eyebrow is rising, it seems to be wrapped in endless. The world, in which the blood of the light never has any smell of odor, but a fragrance, like the breath of blood nectar. No, it is 100 times more fragrant than bloody dew, and it is refreshing and refreshing. Good. Turn evil into positive. Turn pure yin into pure yang. Get the law into a Tao. Become a Taoist. Look at my means of longevity. The elders of the heavens saw all this, knowing that they must grasp the fire, otherwise they would lose money and waste their blood. Countless seals twitched out in his hands, and Fang Han looked at it. The elders of the sentence are not the masters of the longevity secret. The mana does not know how deep, the 5 fingers open, and each finger is a big array. Each big array is equivalent to a master of heaven and earth. There are 10,000 horses. The power of the horses. For a moment, I don't know how many big arrays flew out, and the king around the Blood Knight was spinning. Suddenly, it was printed on the body of the king of Blood Knight. Then the elders of heaven and earth, the elders of the martial arts also fluttered with their hands, and they played infinitely. Big array and ban. The body of the blood knife and the king of the blood of the night was once again combined by the big elders of the 3 elders, and then the flames of the 3 elders spewed out, burning constantly, and a force was born in it. A peerless murder is faintly about to be born. Seeing the 3 elders working together, Fang Han's straight tongue, this magic knife is in his hands. It is impossible to sacrifice the enlightenment, even if it has been used for 1,000 years. However, in the hands of the masters of the longevity and secrets, it is different. The techniques and essence of the 3 elders when they sacrificed the rituals, and Fang Han are also deeply remembered in their minds. There is a great understanding in the heart. The Taoist device, got the road, is called the Taoist. What is the Tao? It is the law of heaven and earth. You can understand it. A Taoist, you must have a master of longevity and secrets, can refine. Because of the longevity only then can we comprehend the laws of heaven and earth, and the point of the instrument is enlightened. The elders of heavenly punishments do not forget to point to the cold. Heavenly elders is constantly flying a lot of materials in the sleeves, and is integrated into the blood of the magic knife. It seems to be a material for the promotion of this peerless magic knife. 9 days of iron, colorful stone, congenital blood jade, gold and silver dragon stone, a lot of good materials. It seems that the feather door is not thin. Look at the elders from heaven, many materials flying out of the sleeves cannot help but admire. It can be seen that all of them are natural treasures, and they are rare. Some are collected from the sky outside the field. Each material can be made into a treasure. In particular, a piece of slap-sized blood jade flew out by the elders of heaven. These blood jade do not know how much power is contained. Fang Han knows that this is the innate blood jade recorded in the legend, very precious. Produced from the extraterritorial space, it is the blood of the innate. The master of the magical secrets gets a little, absorbs the huge innate blood, can wash the flesh, increase the life, and endless. One after another, Qian Saidibao was trained into the blood of the magic knife. The 3 top masters, the sects of the sects, kept conveying the vitality, urging the big squad, and after 10 days and 10 nights, the shape of the magic knife and blood is not known how many times it changed, and the King of Blood Knight is hidden. Now, the power is constantly increasing. It is. Fang Hanzheng looked at a critical moment. Suddenly, the elders of the elders were arrested. The huge aura of the Yuhua temple was gathered, all of which were concentrated in the blade. Bang! The blade body changed, and once again formed the same blood dragon king as Fang Han, the broad blood wing, the ancient blood robes, the asterisk eyes, the asterisk relics of the eyebrows, all showed an ancient style. In the void, a burst of wonderful music sang. Then, a straight blood, rising from the sky, straight into the 9 days. The whole feathering door can be seen clearly, and in the feather Tiangong, Tianzhu is rushed. Then, the sky was covered with a bright red color, and all the white clouds became blood clouds. Really became a blood sky. However, such a scene has formed for a while, the blood is slowly converging, and it is clear and clear. In the temple of the feathering heaven, the elders of the heavenly hand held the blood knife in his hand and handed it to Fang Han. This magic knife is bloody, and now it has become a Taoist device. You must grasp it well. Glory. Fang Han took this magic knife and felt that it was not a magic weapon, but a combination of fairy and magic. The power of majestic makes his heart happy. The blade turned around him and turned into a king of blood knights. The power of this king of blood knights is actually bigger than him, and there are millions of horses. And sharp and extremely varied. Hey, what's happy? This ***** sky is a boon. It hasn't touched the changes in space and time, it's just a lower quality device. When I restore strength, it's a great thing. It's a level with the Emperor's mirror. The claws are broken. He shook his head and did not agree. You recover your strength, don't know what year and month. Fang Han took the knife and prayed again. The three elders have spent so much of the heavens and earth treasures, and many elements have helped me to practice the blood of the sky. I will definitely take this sword and fight for the feathers to win the glory. Go. Refining this magic knife, we also consume a lot of energy. The elders waved their hands. Fang Han silently retired and flew to his Reincarnation Peak. At the same time, on the Qianju Peak, Hua Qianju regained his gaze, and he also saw the vision of the ***** cloud. The fingers are slightly moving, and it is already clear to the chest. Senior brother, it seems that several elders helped the Fang Han to make the magic knife blood and practice it into a Taoist device. I can't think of Fang Han, this child actually hides so deep, and got the symbol of Huangquan of the Emperor of the Great Gate. No wonder he has 10 years. Grasping the challenge of the brothers, the strength of the present is only that I will pack him up. A young Taoist is standing next to Hua Qianju. It is Nanwan Luo among the 5 disciples, and Jin Dan Master. The symbol of Huangquan's emperor is really powerful, but after all, it is not a fairy. As long as Huadayu enters the longevity secret, the square cold between the backhands becomes a pie. Unless he gets the landlord book, 2 or 2, becoming a fairy, at that time he was backhand, Huadayu became a pie. At this time, a person sitting next to Huatiandu Dan Furnace spoke. This person, in black, seems to be a mess, mysterious. The Emperor's book? I can't think of a spiritual Taoist friend. Even if you are too classical, you know that it is really knowledgeable. There are not many scattered repairs with such insights. Hua Qian listened to the interpretation of this mysterious black man, and could not help but see a strange look in his eyes. This mysterious black man is a foreign savvy friend recommended by Fang Qingwei, called Mr. Spiritual, with strong mana. It is a 5-fold, natural world. The general dispersal can be cultivated into the heavens and humans, which is quite a must. It must have been a certain secret inheritance, the legacy of the ancient immortals. Hua Qianju also attached great importance to this kind of dispersal, and he saw it. When I met, I found that this, Mr. Spirituality, was elegant and knowledgeable. It was not like a discourse. It was more orthodox than the disciples sent out by the orthodox, and many of the secrets of the Taiku were well known. And proficient in many ways. Hua Qian immediately felt that this person is absolutely more than just, the heaven and the human world is so simple, there must be hidden means. However, he will not uncover the old base of others, the master of practice, who has several hidden killers, it is not unusual. Huangquan Emperor Sacred Huangquan map, just to one day, looking for the land of the book, 2 or 2, change into a fairy. To know, Huangquan Morzone, originally had some magical power of the Emperor, is the branch of the Emperor. This is especially important for Huadao friends. If he is allowed to get the landlord's book, he will not be able to make it. Mr. Lingdao said, the tone seems to be a reminder of the confidant, which gives people a sense of intimacy. I will pay attention to this, thank the spiritual friends for reminding. Hua Qian nodded. I don't know which Lingdao friends live in Xianshan overseas. I have time to visit 1 or 2. The poor road idles the wild cranes, and the medicines are collected everywhere. There is no fixed place. But the Huadao friends are deep and the collection is quite rich. If it gets a good baby, it will definitely come to Huadayu for the medicine. The poor road left. After the speech, Mr. Ling stood up. Wan Luo, help me send Mr. Spirit. Hua Qian all greeted and nodded. In a short while, Wan Luo sent out Mr. Ling, and went into the Danfang of Huatiandu. His face was dignified. Brother, I don't know the origin of this magical man, neither like the disciples of the magic Dao, nor disciples like the Dao Dao school are not like scattered repairs, and his strength is not limited to this. When we come to trade with our brothers, we all take up a lot of money. I see nothing to offer, and I am not traitorous. Yeah. Hua Qianju played a jade in his hand, and the bright red blood color turned out to be a congenital blood jade. This innate blood jade is a rare treasure between heaven and earth. There is no problem in changing the 3 pieces of the next class treasure in the Great Xian Empire. He actually only changed 100 pieces of Jijidan. It is rumored that the elders of heavenly works also have a piece of congenital blood jade. This time, Fang Han helped the blood of the magic knife to become a Taoist device. I was afraid that it would also be consumed. The 3 elders are really willing to cultivate Fang Han. It seems that the martial art is I am somewhat dissatisfied with Qianju's brother's family. Wan Luo analyzed. The martial art is to erect 2 hills among the true disciples. In the past, I tried to cultivate Fang Qingxue, so I can compete with me. Now I am trying to cultivate Fang Han. I know this well and I know nothing about it. I changed it for many martial arts. The elders and the heads will do the same. Hua Qian did not care. But it's just a cold, not enough to compete with me. Plus a square snow, it's a little threat to me, but once I step into the longevity secret, they will not be able to weather the climate. Several retired elders will come out to observe the ceremony. The longevity secret, known as the Wangbu Giant. If every martial art has a new master of longevity and secrets, it is a bad thing. It is necessary to advertise widely and to feast the glory of the world, to know how many years of rules. If Hua Qian is stepping into the longevity secret, Yu Huamen will immediately inform the 9 gates of Xiandao. Many of the sects will come out to observe the ceremony. The heads of the various factions will come to congratulate them. They are immediately authoritative, and what is cold, Fang Qingxue is worthless in front of its glory. Moreover, the strength of the longevity secret can make the power of the Taoist all play, and cannot be compared with the magical environment. The difference between the mysterious mystery and the longevity secret is too great. Although Hua Qianju is the realm of Shentong's tenfold, reverse life change, it is only 1 step away, but after all, there is no anti-day success, and it can't be the ancient giant. Outside the Yuhua mountain, in the middle of a barren hill, the Mr. Spiritual landed down and saw more than a dozen black people guarding there, and at the same time smashed down, "See God Jun. Get up." Mr. Fantasy waved, and a black man came forward. "Shenjun, don't you know that Hua Qian is not a role that can be drawn? It is still too early to say. But my family has many treasures, and it is not a chance to succeed. In particular, Hua Qian has an enemy now." Mr. Ling sneered and sneered, "But that Fang Han, we must not let go. The Huangquan map on his body is the important thing that the Emperor's book is re-promoted to be a fairy. It is also the key to hinder the return of my family. Be sure to get it. At all costs. Let's go back first. Convene the 8 people who came to the world of Xianhuang and see if there is any way to win the Huangquan map." More than a dozen black shadows disappeared into the mountains, leaving only a breeze. Not to mention that Hua Qianju and Wan Luo discussed on Qianju Peak, a group of black people conspiring to make tricks. Fang Han has returned to his Reincarnation Peak. The Reincarnation Peak is very high. Looking up and looking around, the peaks are everywhere, the white clouds drifting from the middle of the mountain, the sky is high and the clouds are flying, and the birds are soaring. It is really a holy land. Fang Han looked far and wide, and suddenly discovered that many of the true descendants of the disciples lived around the Yuhua temple, each mountain and the earth's veins connected, faintly arranged into an extremely powerful array. Once there is a large battle, or an extraterrestrial demon, the martial art has an emergency. All the true disciples are sitting on the mountain peaks, mobilizing the power of the heavens and the earth, and immediately will produce incredible power to kill the demon and protect themselves from harm. At this time, Fang Han cultivated to the 5-fold, heaven and man, of Shentong, and understood the mystery of the heavens and the wonders of the formation. However, it can be seen that Yu Huamen's true intention is to build a mountain peak for each of the mysterious secrets. Now there are a total of 110 true disciples in Yu Huamen. There are 110 mountain peaks. Each mountain peak stands on the earth. It is a core array. When the door is born and died, the true disciple is on his own mountain. Use your own life to protect yourself and the martial art. The more disciples you have, the more mountains you have, the more your eyes are, the more powerful you are. The feathering door is one of the 10 gates of Xiandao. This is a big plan. After seeing this mystery, Fang Han continued to watch and discovered another mystery. Each mountain has the strength of strength. One of the central peaks is the strongest, and Guanghua Wandao is obviously the Tiandu peak of Huatiandu. Other things, 4 peaks in the north and south, each with a mountain peak, the momentum is also extremely strong, such as the sword piercing the sky. It is clearly the peak of the 4 disciples of Wanluo, Lingbai, Indigo, and Yaoguang. The rest of the peaks are also strong, but they are not comparable to the 5 peaks. However, his own mountain peaks are ambiguous, not a bit imposing, and the decline is pitiful. Obviously it was built soon, and he did not take care of himself. This will not work. You must know that a mountain is your home, cave house that lives in peace, a powerful enemy, and the best place to rely on the advantage of land advantage against the enemy. A powerful person who is fascinated by the 5-fold heavenly people's realm. If you manage a Dongfu, you can save your life even if you encounter a supernatural master who has come to kill you. Fang Han, you are finally here. I saw that all the sky is full of blood. I know that the elders have already made the magic knife ****** to the Dao. Congratulations. Even I have not been able to possess the Dao. Now your strength, even if Jin Dan Master cannot help. The sound of indigo floated out of the square. Fang Han. You are finally back. In the sky, a crane humming, white gold-colored crane fell down, actually a crane fairy, looking at her appearance, more gods, great strength, a little moving wings. There is a storm and whirlpool in the air. Hio's fairy, how are these days of practice? Fang Han looked at it, and suddenly gave birth to a kind, beckoning, let the crane fairy fall to his side. Fortunately, it's okay. I and Hongi practiced every day, and they were trained by the Indigo Sister. They have been cultivated. In time, it is possible to step into the magical mystery. Crane Fairy opened his mouth. It now has no beasts. The card is a message, but the reaming of the crossbow in the mouth can be said to be human. A voice, sly and crisp. Yeah, I have also repaired the peak of God's change. I don't know when I can enter the mysterious secret. On the back of the Crane Fairy, a woman in red turned over. It was the owner of Hongi County. When Fang Han looked at it, she knew that she had cultivated into fine, and she could use the spirit to create all kinds of illusions for the enemy. She had strong spiritual power and was the pinnacle of the death of the physical body. However, if you want to change your mind and make a step in the sky, you still don't know how much to hone. Unfortunately, our martial art is a human-grade medicinal remedy. It is not easy to refine the building. It requires a lot of medicinal materials, and even a pure spiritual spirit. If Hongi can take the building of Jijidan, then step into the magical powers. It is not a difficult thing. Indigo shook his head. Now the disciple of Yu Huamen, the medicinal medicine for filling food is Jing Yuan Dan and Pugu Dan. One is a human-level middle product, one is a human-level lower product, and the drug power is general, but it is very rare, only the inner disciple available. Hundreds of thousands of foreign disciples only go to the Jade Dining Hall to eat big pot rice. Yes. I will not refine the building base, but Yuan Ying Dan, who is 2-1 door, I can refine it. Fang Fang spoke, and the eyebrows shot a pure spirit. This pure vitality, at the fingertips, turned into a Yuan Ying Dan, crystal clear. In the middle seems to be sitting a fat baby. You? This time, not only Indigo, but even Fang Qingxue was shocked. They never thought that Fang Han would not refine the medicinal herbs to produce this kind of remedy. Going this way, you still have it? This video will end here. Like video and subscribe to my channel.